Three times Omkara. Om. Om Sri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha. Om. The Bhagavad Gita from slokas from 11 to 30. Sanjay Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. असोच नन्वसोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांच भाससे गतासून अगतासून च नानुशोचन्ते पंडिता. That's this Sanskrit sloka. That is the meaning of. Now I am going to read the meaning of it. You are utterly ignorant of yourself. All this universe has existed from beginningless time. Thank you, sir. It is born and it dies according to its own nature. The wise grieve neither for the living nor for the dead. Whether they live or pass away, the wise do not grieve. This is the association and association. Don't grieve for any other. Basically, God is trying to reduce the grief of the human beings. Second, 12th sloka, Natve Vaham Jatunasam, Natvam Neve Janadhipa, Nacheva na Bhavishyama, Sarve Vayamata Param. 12th sloka, we are all existing always from the time immemorial. In reality, matter is indestructible. What it is that is born and from where, and what is it that has died. There is no life and death. There is no death for all of us. We are existing from time immemorial. That is what. We are always existing. 13th sloka. Dehino asmin yadha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara तथा देहांतर प्राप्त ही धीर तत्र मुक्ति. I am an embodied being. Changes do happen to the body, such as youth, old age, childhood, and adulthood, etc. In this body, changes are happening: childhood, adulthood, and youth, and old age. So also, the embodied being acquires another body. The wise one is not deluded about this. That means, as we are now passing through, we already passed through from the childhood and adulthood, adolescence, and we are passing through, we are going through the old age now. Similarly, after some time, we will acquire another body. There should be no doubt about it. And the wise people are not deluded about this. They are very clear about it. So they accept what God is going to give it to them after this body is over. Body is, you can say, exhausted. 14th sloka. Matra sparshatu kaunteya sitosha sukhudukhada agama payina nitya tam titikshitsu bharata. He used the word matra sparsha. Matra sparsha is sensations arising from the sense of. There are three things the Bhagavad Gita explanation is saying, that is Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj. There are senses, sense objects, and mind. There are three things are there, sir. Senses, sense objects, and mind. The three things are there. And they are causing the physical sensations, causing cold and heat, pleasure or pain. So they are impermanent. They come and go. Sometimes we get pleasure, sometimes we get pain, sometimes we get cold, sometimes we get heat. So these are all physical sensations. Happiness and sadness, they are not permanent. They come and go. So manage to endure them. What we have to do is we all have to manage managers of our own personality. We have to manage our sensations. That is what we have to focus on that. Once we focus on that, we will be able to learn. Otherwise, we don't focus on that. How can we manage our emotions? So we should not come under our emotions, feelings and thoughts. We should have to manage them. That is the art we have to learn it. A person fails to understand this because of the domination of the senses. Sometimes we fail to understand this because why? Because the senses do dominate us. Say, for example, I don't want to see a particular thing, but I see. I don't want to eat a particular thing, I eat. I don't want to drink something, I drink. These are taste, smell, touch, all this form, all these things, sound. So all these things, the senses, our senses dominate. Domination of the senses, we fail to understand. The heart is in their power, and it is confused. Our heart is in their power of the senses, power of the senses. So that is it. Objects, touch, sound, form, taste, smell are enjoyed through the senses, and from these senses, joy and grief arise. Because of this contact, mind is plunged into confusion. The contact with the sense objects is therefore the cause of corruption. If one gives into these desires of the senses, one feels heat and cold, then only we get heat and cold, and is caught up in pleasure and pain. What is the true nature of these sense objects? In fact, the sense objects are not there. These sound, touch, form were there, but they are not there actually. They are like a water of a mirage. If you see mirage, in the hot summer in the deserts, you must have seen a lot of times, many places. There you will find some distance, a kilometer from here, you find some water mirage is there, water body is there. When you go there, there is no water there. So, sense objects are like that. They look they are there, but they are not there. And like an elephant seen in a dream, you see an elephant says, you elephant, it comes in a dream. But actually, in our head, how can an elephant enter into all this thing? But the elephant enters into our mind. So these are actually not there. They are non-existent. Like these, they are ephemeral. So reject them. What he's saying is reject them. Repeat the reject the sense objects. Don't let yourself be affected by contact with them. 15th sloka. Yamhina vyajyanti yate purusham purusharthavah samadukha sukham dhiram sa amrutatvaya kalpate. So we are all embodied beings. In the 15th sloka, he told a couple of very important points that we have to catch it. So in the 15th sloka, he is telling that we are all embodied beings. What are we? Embodied beings. That is the word. The whole everything is embodied being here. So all jivas. Indeed, the man whom these sensations do not afflict, Arjuna, the wise one to whom happiness and unhappiness are the same, he is ready for the immortality. The person who is not bound by these objects is not affected by pleasure or pain, and for him there is no need for rebirth. He is straightway saying we do not have to be reborn once we overcome these sensations of the sense objects. That much power, that much is the promotion he is giving us. Arjuna, oh Arjuna, you should understand that a person who does not fall into their power is truly immortal. Now 16th sloka. Na asuto vidyate bhavo, na abhavo vidyate sukha, ubhyor vidrishtvanta tvanevo tattva darsati. It is found that the unreal has no being. It is found that there is no non-being of the real. The certainty of both these propositions is indeed surely seen by the perceivers of truth within this body. Now he is telling another important thing. Earlier he said what? We are all embodied beings in sloka 15. Now in this sloka 16, he is telling us that there is within this body, like your body and my body and their body, our body, dwells the same consciousness which pervades all things. So philosophers accept this truth. So there is a consciousness dwelling in our body. That is another truth he is telling us. That we must understand. So the consciousness is there in us. There are a lot of people, they don't know, they don't regard, they don't care for this consciousness. Then what happens if they don't care for the consciousness? They are born at random here and there. They do. But once we know that there is a consciousness here and we worship that consciousness, and consciousness will take care of us. So when grain and chaff are together, the husks are blown away and the heavy grain is left. Similarly, when this is properly understood, the outer visible world vanishes the outer visible world will vanish for us. Who understand that there is consciousness in me, there is a consciousness in you. Once we recognize that, then the outer world where consciousness is only talking to consciousness, then what happens is the outer world vanishes away. There will be no angry, no this thing, no other things. Because consciousness makes friendship with the consciousness. But once we don't recognize this, like Kamsa never recognized the God is existing there. So he behaved in a different manner. Devaki, Vasudeva, his own sister, changed them and all that. So he killed a lot of children also. So because he never believed in consciousness. Similarly, Duryodhana also never believed in consciousness. So that is why. Then Pandavas believed in the consciousness. Pandavas were protected. So like the wise only, for the wise only God remains. They do not consider that the impermanent things are real, but they have realized the truth. The bodies are impermanent form of Maya and are illusory. Now, Sloka 17. Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvam vidam tatam vinasam avyasya na kachit kartum arhati. Know that by which all this universe is pervaded is indeed indestructible. No one is able to accomplish the destruction of the imperishable. So earlier he mentioned we are all embodied beings. Second, Sloka 16 he mentioned and we are consciousness. Third, the consciousness dwells in our body and everybody's body. And in the third important point he is mentioning here is in Sloka 17 that consciousness is indestructible and imperishable. No one is able to do the perish the consciousness. So indestructible and imperishable. That means what? That means you and me having that power of the consciousness in us. You and me also are always indestructible and imperishable. We all will exist, maybe in one form or another. Like Einstein said, energy is neither created nor destroyed. We are all energy, the consciousness. So once we know this, that we will always remain forever. That means better we should follow some good path, so that we live in a happy manner wherever, whenever, in whichever loka we live. That is the point we have to take home. The unreal is illusory. This body is illusory actually. Our bodies are illusion. Our soul is the real one. So unreal is illusory, which while the real is eternal. The consciousness has manifested these three worlds and has neither name, color, form, nor sign. It is eternal, all pervasive, and beyond the reach of birth and death. No one can ever destroy it, no matter how much they try. So see, actually the God doesn't have any particular form. We people try to give the form to God, but actually God doesn't have any particular form. That is why there are various religions here, but thing is this. Now 18th sloka, sir. Antavanta ime deha nityasya ukta shariranaha anashino aprimeyasya tasmat yugyasva bharata. He says these bodies inhabited by the eternal, the indestructible, the immeasurable, the embodied self are said to come to an end. Therefore, fight, Arjuna. All bodies are destructible by nature, therefore fight, Arjuna. Now, Sloka 19. Ya yanam veti hantaram yacha yanam manite hatam ubhoto na vijanito nayam hantina hanyate. So, he is proposing another profound concept of non-violence, ahimsa. How he is proposing that? Let's see. He who imagines this embodied self, the slayer, and he who imagines this, the embodied self, the slain, neither of them understands this, the embodied self. The embodied self does not slay, nor it is slain. It doesn't, I don't kill anybody, and nobody can kill me. That means what? We are ahimsak. We are non-violent people. We cannot do any violence. With the pride in your form, you may say that I am the killer slayer and the other is slain. But if you think in terms of reality, you are not the slayer, nor can these be slain.
ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
So 20th, sir. न जायते म्रीते व कदाचित् न अयम भूत्वा भविता वानभूया अजो नित्य शाश्वत. अजो नित्य, अजो means ki birthless. अजो नित्य, नित्य is eternal. अजो नित्य शाश्वत है पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. He is saying that neither is this embodied self is born, nor does it die at any time, nor having been will it again come not to be. Birthless, eternal, perpetual, primeval, it is not slain when the body is slain. Whatever is seen in a dream, he says another concept he is telling us that this life is like a dream. He is comparing it. Whatever is seen in a dream appears to be real at the time of the dreaming state. When we go to sleep, and I think I have become a king, I have become a president of India, and a lot of servants are there, a lot of good. But when I wake up, I am not the president of India, governor of a state. So I say, yeah, it is my own house. Then request my wife for tea and or make it myself like that. So whatever is seen in a dream appears to be real at the time of dreaming, but when remembered on waking up, it has no reality. अरे मैं king था, मैं governor था, मैं president था, where there's nothing reality wherever it is. So similarly, know that this is an illusion, and your confusion is therefore is vain. A shadow cut with a weapon cannot be wounded. A sun is not destroyed when a pot with the water of sun's reflection is turned upside down. The sun is permanent. So if a house is torn down, the air resumes its natural form. So this life is like a dream. So that's what I will tell. This time really I focused more on this. And Veda Avinashnu Nityam Yenam Ajam Avyayam Kadamsa Purusha Partha Kam Ghatyati Hantikam. Again he is proposing the concept of non-violence. He is telling that Kadamsa Purusha Partha Kam Ghatyati Hantikam. How he can kill or killed? He is saying no, we are not, we neither kill nor be killed. So he is proposing the concept of non-violence. We are all non-violent people. That is what it is. So he who knows this, the indestructible, the eternal, the birthless, the imperishable, the immeasurable, embodied being, in what way does this man cause to be slain, Arjuna? Whom does he slay? Whom I will kill? Nobody is killed actually by me. Nobody can be killed. So whom am I killing? I am killing nobody. And who is killing me? Nobody is killing me. This embodied being cannot be killed, cannot be destroyed. The body may die, the self does not die. Therefore, do not cling to this delusion. He says this is a delusion. Now, Sloka 22. वासांस जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरापराणि तथा शरीरानि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. This is what he is telling. He is proposing our eternal state. Like say, as after casting away worn-out garments, a man later takes on new ones. Like I was there, and you all were there with some differences before coming here outside. And once we thrown it away and then put on another garments and we have come outside. Similarly, so after casting away worn-out bodies, the embodied self encounters new ones. Just as a person puts on a new garments, in the same way, the self takes on a new body. I will take on a new body, you will take on a new body, you will take on a new body, we will take on a new body. That is what it is. It's the truth. It's fact of life. So we should not be too much get worried about this particular body form. Sloka 23. Nainam chinnati sasrani nainam dahati pavakaha na chiyanam kledeti apana shosheti mortaha. Weapons do not pierce this embodied self, and fire does not burn this, water does not wet this, nor does the wind cause it to wither. 24th. अच्छेद्य मदाख्यो मक्लेद्यो अशोचे युवचः नित्यः सर्वगतः स्थाणुः अचलः अयं सनातनः. नित्यः सर्वगतः स्थाणुः अचलः अयं सनातनः. The embodied self cannot be pierced, burned, wetted, withered. The embodied being is eternal, all-pervading, fixed. This is unmoving and primeval. It is eternal, pure, without beginning or without limitation. It cannot be cut by any weapon. It cannot be submerged by the final deluge. A fire can never consume it, and even the strongest winds cannot wither it. Arjuna, O Arjuna, the embodied being is not visible to the eye of the reason. It cannot be visible to us. We cannot see it, but meditation eagerly reaches out for it. 25th one. अव्यक्तोऽयम् अचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्यः उच्यते तस्मात् एवं विदित्वा एनं नानुशोचितुम् अर्हसि. अव्यक्त अयम् अचिन्त्य अयम् अविकार्य. अव्यक्तो अयम् अचिन्त्यो अयम् अविकार्य. अव्यक्त, unmanifest, unthinkable, achintya, avikarya, unchanging. Vikara means changing, avikarya is unchanging. Sattva, rajas, tamas gunas are vikara. They are changing. Sometimes we are good, I am good. Sometimes I am bad. Sometimes I become greedy. Sometimes I become angry. So like that. So this vikaram, the soul is not avikar. The soul is not vikari. Soul is unchanging. So the embodied being is ever inaccessible to the mind, and he can't be that God cannot be accessible to my mind. Whatever I can focus. I cannot see him. Mind is not accessible to this. In fact, the embodied being is not accessible to the mind. The embodied being is not attainable by any special practices. O Arjuna, the supreme being is immeasurable. O Arjuna, the embodied being is everlasting, immovable. We are all everlasting, immovable, all pervasive and eternally perfect. And embodied being transcends the three qualities, sattva, rajas and tamas. The embodied being is beyond form, and the embodied being is without source, or the embodied being is without change. The embodied being is all pervasive. O Arjuna, know him this way, know him this way, and see him as the self of all. Then your grief will pass away. We have to see that God is present in all beings. That way, it will help us to overcome our grief. Somehow, somebody is not friendly to us, but then you have to see the divine soul in that person, and after some time, perhaps the things will change. But we should not spoil ourselves. That is what. We have to upgrade ourselves, and our divine soul is there in everybody's being. The consciousness is there in everybody's being. The sattva, rajas, tamas gunas, they play part in the minds of individuals. We have to say overcome them. We will see further. Tomorrow, day after, we will see qualities. There are certain qualities are there. He tries to help us out. Suddenly we can't become divine, no, godly. Everybody wants to become God. I want to become God. Even I'm sure, sir, you also want to become God.
Correct.
Don't you want to become God?
Yes.
Colonel Rajat, sir.
I want to join him, not become.
Yeah.
I want to
So-
merge with him.
Yeah.
Merge with him.
So he gives us certain qualities.
Yeah.
He shows a path. He shows the path, then you better follow that. It's like in the military, Indian military academy, they show some qualities, no? You march straight like this, left, right, and don't look left, right. Keep straight, your feet straight. Then similarly, some guidelines, the qualities, we will see tomorrow or day after. That is what it is. So, next, then 25th sloka we finished. Avyakta machitya avikaryam uchate. Tasmat vayam vidyam nanushrutam. Then 26th. Adachena nitya jatam nityam va manise vritam. Tadapitva mahabahu nayam sustamasi. And moreover, even if you think this to be eternally born or eternally dead, even then you should not mourn for this, Arjuna. Don't cry. He says, for birth and life and dissolution follow one another in eternal progression like ceaseless flow of the river Ganga. Ganga God is giving the example of Ganga river to us to understand the soul principle. And how he beautifully explained here is Sant Gyanesha Maharaj. At its source, the Ganga river, you've also seen, all of us have seen Gangotri, Yamunotri and all that. And at its source, Ganga river never fails. It's always forming. Ganga river is always forming. And even Godavari river, all are forming, they never stop. At its source, it never fails. It is always flowing into the ocean. Its direction is clear. In the middle of its course, it also flows continuously. So Ganga river passes through the three stages in succession, at source and middle and in the final merging with the sea. So, and no creature can ever arrest its flow. Nobody can stop Ganga flow. In fact, recently we have seen in J&K and in Himachal Pradesh and the Uttarakhand and the river has flown. Cloud bursts have come and then destruction is taking place. Nobody can stop Ganga flow. So this is a divine law. And they say finally somebody said कि माँ शक्ति है, माँ शक्ति का रूप है. Nobody can do nothing. We can only do the operations, rescue operations, the damage control operation, help operations. But we cannot stop the river. It has taken only 5 minutes time. It had not given any time to react also. Just 5 minutes. I was watching, somebody was taking the video, live video. The cloud was instantly in the Harshal area. Incidentally, 3 months back, I went, 2 years back, I went to the Harshal area also. So I was watching, I was interested. But I went in the month of March and April. But this is August, July and August. Now rains are happening there in the Harshal area. Just given only 5 minutes notice. Within 5 minutes, just flown away. We're all sitting here, imagine. And 5 minutes it's coming. We all is flown away. Finished. So nobody can, first of all, nobody can stop it. The river passing through the Ganga's course. So similarly, life and death. It doesn't, nobody can stop it. So he says, don't grieve. That is the point. He is telling us, don't grieve. So that we have to overcome our grief first. Because Bhagavad Gita classes, if we can learn this at least one lesson, we should not grieve too much. Grief will be there for anybody. Nobody wants to die. But then we shouldn't grieve. When we'll get another body. So, and no creature can ever arrest its flow. O Arjuna, for this there is no cause for you to grieve, for birth and death are inevitable. Now 27th sloka. Jatasai dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya sa, tasmat apharya arde, natvam sustum arasi. So he is continuing his logic of birth and death cycle, life cycle of birth and death. So similarly, he is continuing with for the born, death is certain. He is clearly telling us. For the dead, there is certainly birth. Whosoever is born, he will have to die. Whosoever has died, he will again be reborn. Don't be having any confusion about it. He will not say somewhere that the soul will go into another body. That is what our ancestors have died. Left their body. They get another body. They left this. So tomorrow we will leave this body. We will get another body. And other day our children will get grandchildren. Another soul is going to come into that body. That is what it is. Therefore, for this inevitable in consequence, you should not mourn. What is born dies, and what is dies born again. Like the wheels of water clock, like the cycle continues, he says. Now, just as sunrise, he is giving another example to understand this. Just like a sunrise and sunset, sir, we cannot stop it. It keeps on happening. They follow one another. In this world, birth and death are also certain. So the moment today morning we saw sunrise. Now today sunset is happening. Nobody is stopping this. The rotation of the earth, the revolution of the earth in its own axis around the object of the sun, the orbit of the sun, Nobody can stop it. Who can stop the rotation? So similarly, birth and death are also certain. So at the time of great dissolution, even the three worlds perish. So the birth and death are inevitable. There is a kalpantam, kalpadi kalpantam, yugadi yugantam. Like this, these things they say at that time. Oh Arjuna, if you believe this, then why do you grieve? Knowing this, why should you profess ignorance? Now 28th sloka. अव्यक्तादीन भूतानि व्यक्ति मध्यानि भारतः अव्यक्ता निधनान अन्येवा तत्र का परिदेवना. He says that beings are such that their beginnings are unmanifest, their middles are manifest, and their ends are unmanifest again. What complaint can there be over this? He says that all beings are formless before birth. When born, they take individual form. After dissolution, their bodies they do not exist separately but revert to their original state. Life in between is like a dream to a sleeping person. Likewise, the appearance of form in the self is due to the power of cosmic illusion. Before this, we are born, so we are not visible to anybody. Our parents have not seen us before we are born. But once we are born, we have taken a form and they have seen us. And once we die, nobody will see us. Similarly, our children, before they are born to us, we have not seen their form. Once they are born, then we have seen. Like that. 29. Okay, 28. 29 श्लोका. आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कच्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तदैव च अन्यः. आश्चर्यवत् येन शृणोति श्रुत्वापि येनं वेदन चैव कच्चित्. He says that someone perceives this embodied self as a wonder. Another declares this embodied self as a wonder. Still another hears of this embodied self as a wonder. But even as after hearing of this embodied self, no one knows it. That is why, but one good thing he is telling is someone perceives this embodied self as a wonder. We can perceive this, the embodied self, but we will perceive it also, even if it appears to us, we will see it as a wonder. That is what it is. Oh, Shakti, the Mahashakti, like that, Vishwamitra did tapasya for so many years for goddess Durga, and then Durga appeared to him. Durga appeared to him in the Shakti form, and then he was wondered, everybody wondered. So, and Sloka 30, Dehi Nityam Avadhyo, I am Dehe Sarvasya Bharataha, Tasmat Sarvani Bhutani Nathan Sostamasi. So, Dehi means the person, we are all Dehis. Nityam Avadhyo, we are eternal, and Avadhya, never killed, never slain. We are permanent, we are not killed, we are not slain. We are permanent. Dehi Nityam Avadhyo. I am Dehe Sarvasya Bharata. In all bodies also, the same consciousness is there, but it is never killed, it is never destroyed, it is indestructible. Tasmat evam vidutva yanam manusostamasi. By knowing it like that, you don't get worried, you don't get disturbed. He says that. This embodied self is eternally indestructible in the body of all, Arjuna. Therefore, you should not mourn for any living being. Oh Arjuna, listen. That which is everywhere and in everyone is the one life infusing the whole universe. Though it might be threatened, it cannot be killed. Because of the nature of this, everything is born and dies. Then what can cause you to grieve? Grief does not suit you, Arjuna. So, over, sir. Om Tat Sat.
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 Sarvam Sri Krishnarpan Vastu.
Sarvam Sri Krishnarpan Vastu.
Loka Samasta Sukhno Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.